So the day of the run. Let's talk about the day of. We had to be there. How early we were there?
4.
We had to be there at 4. So the marathon that you were in, the one that you participated in, how long of a time span do they give y'all to be able to finish the marathon?
So it depends on how fast you run your marathon. I had no idea how long it was going to take me. So they have like an early start at 4:30. That's what I signed up for. So if you sign up for the 4:30 start time, you have to take longer than 5 hours and 45 minutes.
But what's the most you can take?
8. You could take up to 8 hours. So the marathon's called Everyone's Marathon because they believe that everyone should have an opportunity to participate in a run like this. So that's another reason why I signed up for that one and not for like the Houston or like some bigger name marathon. Yeah.
So we were there at 4 o'clock. What time did you start the actual run?
4:30.
4:30.
Yep. 4:30 a.m.
What was going through your? Yeah, make that clear. 'Cause we woke up early as shit. What was going through your mind? What were you thinking about before the marathon got started that morning when we were getting ready? You were stretching.
To be honest, I don't know. I think I'm good at like not thinking about shit. Like at certain time, I think I could just block things out. Because I didn't want to go in expecting anything. It was cold as shit though, like in the morning. So that was mostly on my mind. So I think I was kind of ready to get started so that I could warm up because I hate being cold. But I mean, I was just kind of like, okay, you know, all these people are here. We're all doing the same thing. Like if all these people are here to do it, then I you know, there's no reason why I can't.
Were you nervous at all?
I think I was not the day of. I was nervous in like the week before, early in the week. I was nervous. I think I told you I was nervous. And then, you know, as it got closer, I somehow changed that to excitement. I was excited, and then I was like, man, after I do this one, I'm going to do the Houston, I'm going to do the Boston, I'm going to do all these marathons, right?
Chill.
Yeah. No, I got excited. I was excited.
Were you in an empty stomach that morning?
No, I ate oatmeal before. Yeah.
What did you wear in the run? What would you recommend people to wear?
Well, I get cold, so I wore like workout pants, like yoga pants. They were all the way to my ankles. And then I had a long sleeve shirt that goes like that has like the little thumb thing, just because I like my hands. Well, normally when you're running, like your extremities get cold. And not like your vital organs. They stay nice and toasty. And I had a headband to cover my ears because I also read that keeping your hands and your ears is like really important for running. And then I had shoes, running shoes that were a size and a half bigger than what I normally wear.
And that was why?
Because when you run longer than like double digits, your feet will swell, or there's a chance that they'll swell. And this might be kind of gross, but if your feet are swollen, then your shoes get tight from pounding the pavement like so much. Yeah. Your toenails will hit like your shoe, and they can turn black and fall off. So that
would really suck.
Yes, I didn't want that to happen.
At what point were you constantly keeping track of how far in you were into the run?
I don't like looking at how far I'm.
Like around what point did you feel like, okay, I'm tired, like I'm getting tired?
Ooh, so I started, and then at mile 15, I had to use the bathroom, so I had to stop. And at that point, I looked because I already stopped. But if I had kept at that point, because when you stop, it's kind of like, well, when you're dancing or you're doing a lot of stuff, and then you stop, you sit down, then you feel like everything hits you.
It's like everything's hurting.
Yeah. So
mile 15, you were basically a little bit over half. Hey, what's up, guys? JVaz from the JVaz Show. Just want to let you guys know the BU shirts are now available for pre-order. You can find the link to place your order on the description of the video. And we also have the pins and the stickers that you can purchase as well. So once again, the link is in the description of the video. I hope you guys keep enjoying the interview. Once you got going, what was going through your head as far as like, I got this?
After
were you
the
nervous? Yeah, like after you realized you were passed in half, were you like, I got this? Were you nervous? How was your body feeling?
Yeah. Oh, I knew at 13 or half because we passed the beginning and I saw like where all the people was. So that was kind of motivating.
I was asleep.
I text you and my mom so that y'all could see me, but I was already passed by the time.
Like, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So I knew when I was at half, but then after that, I just knew it because we passed there. And then whenever I had to go to the bathroom, I looked. But once I got going there, like it was harder to get going. I knew I wasn't running as fast. I didn't look to see how fast I was running. But there was this guy running with me. Well, not with me, but he started at the same time I did. And we were always kind of like, he was right there or I was a little bit behind or he was a little bit behind me.
Hey, fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like a senor.
I know. I met him afterwards. I'm just joking.
So he told me we were coming to mile 16 and he's like, at mile 16, something magical happens. I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And then he's like, when we get to mile 16, we no longer have double digits to go. And I was like, that's a good way to think about it. So I was like, yeah, he's right. So I still was, moving along. I was running slow, but, I was still moving. I wasn't walking. Every now and then I did stop to walk a little bit when we would get to a water station. So I would get like a water or a Gatorade or both. And then I think that's where I took my first goo. And goo is it's like a little pack that it's literally feels like goo, right? It's a bunch of carbs condensed into this little packet that you can just kind of eat. And then you sip some water and pass it through. And it kind of, I guess it rehydrates you. So it gives you like a little boost of energy. And so I took one, I think after that, I probably took another one 45 minutes later and so on and so forth. But somebody asked me, like, did that help? Because before the marathon, I'd never taken any of those. They would have been lovely on this 20-mile run that I did first. But they were like, so did they help? What should I guess? I mean, I finished 20. I did 26 miles when I thought 20 that I was never going to do that. So when I got to 20, that guy, he like did this and I was like, oh, dope. What's that for? And then he's like, well, you set a record for yourself already. Like you've ran more than you've ever ran before. So I was like, you're right. So then, I was going. I got to mile 23. There was a water station where there was this lady that had the same name as me. I saw her when it was dark, when we first started. And she got all excited because she saw our numbers had our name. And she's like, oh my God, Mayra, I have to take a picture and blah, blah. She took a picture of my thing. And then I took off. Like I kept running because that was, I think the first time around, it was at mile 9 I don't know. It was in single digits when I first saw her. And then when I came back around, she saw me again. The sun was up. It was out. And she was like, come on, Mayra, do it for the Mayras or whatever. And then she's like, hey, do you want a shot of pickle juice? And I was like, is it going to help? And this was like well before I got to the water station. And she's like, yeah, it'll help. And I think I've read somewhere that pickle juice does help, like the sodium in it. But I feel like at that moment, it was the fact that she told me it was going to help. And she was like, you're almost there, like in my head. And I was like, okay. So then I picked up the pace a little bit I think this was mile 23. So I had 3 miles left. And so I was just thinking like, well, it's a 5K. I've done plenty 5Ks. That's all I have left. So those last 3 miles were really hard.
Yeah.
I think I stopped to walk more.
Was your body hurting any?
Yes. a lot. Like,
what were you feeling? Your knees, your ankles?
Yes, my ankle, my right ankle, for whatever reason. I have my left knee is bad, and I guess I subconsciously think about that, so that might be why my right leg hurt more.
I'm just.
Oh, but then
I'm like I'm not telling you anything. I'm just.
My knees hurt. My muscles hurt when like I would slow down and walk.
Your hands swell up as well.
Oh, that was.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
I think that's
really.
what I noticed.
And I was like,
that's when. After 15, because when I first started, I was running. I had my hands like this. I had my thumbs in between like my first two fingers to keep them warm, to keep my hands warm. Then they got hot, so I let them go. But after I went to the bathroom, I guess from stopping, they got cold again. So I wanted to do this again. And like my hands are skinny naturally. But then when I went to do this, like it felt weird. And I was like, what? So I looked down and my hands were like fat. Like it looked like a little, like, you know, those gloves, like if you just like blew it up, that's how it looked. And then like right here, like this part of my hand, like my whole hand just looked weird. And I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on? So like I would like raise them up and like move them around, and it kind of relieved it a little bit. But then I would start running again, and then I forgot about it, and it would happen again. So at the end of the run, I mean, I showed you my hands. I was like, look. And you're like, yeah. I was like, hold my hand. And then you're like, oh, yeah, it feels different. It feels like you're not holding my hand. But yeah, when I got to, I think mile 23, that's when I started seeing people that had already finished, because people that do the half marathon, they also have a half marathon and a 5K, I think. Yeah. Those people do the same route, but a shorter part of it. And those people were already done. They already had their medals and stuff. And I was like, damn, like I'm this close to getting.
I'm almost done.
Yes. So you start seeing people, and then you start hearing the noise from where y'all were at, right at the end. Because they had speakers, or they announced. Yeah. I don't know if they had music or not, if that was my head, but that might have been. They had music. Oh well, I had music and whatever. Anyways, I started seeing.
It was not my head. It was my headphones.
I started seeing all these people, and then at the water stations. I think I skipped out on the second to last water station because I was like, I just want to get done. But everybody's so motivated. I mean, I think they're volunteering there so they can cheer you on, right? So I was running, and then the last mile, like I started feeling like very emotional. Like
I remember you texting me like, babe, I think I'm going to cry when I'm done. I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
so, or was it, I think mile 2 and before, I saw a guy there was an ambulance, and they were taking him on a stretcher, and I was like, oh, like, can you imagine like having done all that to get to less than 2 miles, and then you're out, like, because you can't keep going. Yeah. And that was one of my fears. Like when I was nervous before it, I was like, I'm just scared that, like, cause I don't have a problem with the breathing or anything like that. I was scared that my legs were going to give out, but they didn't. So at less than a mile, like, and it felt so long, like, It probably was long because I was running so slow at that point. But I started feeling emotional. Like I felt like this knot in my throat because I was like, damn, like I'm almost done. Like I've already ran like 25 miles. I was like, I mean, how many people can say that they've done that? You know, like a very small percentage of people can say that. And so whenever I was probably less than a quarter mile turning around in the last corner, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to cry, no bitch. No, but then whenever I'm getting there, let me get there. So, okay, so when I saw the finish line, I felt, well, normally on shorter runs, I'll give it like all I got at the end. There, I didn't have much, so I couldn't, it was a very slow jog.
This is all I have.
Yes. But I also read that like if you do that, having run that much, like you're very likely to hurt yourself. So I was like, oh, I don't want to hurt myself, you know? So it's one thing to be, but speaking of hurt, like, I mean, at a certain point you get to, and you're like, okay, this don't even really feel like a workout anymore. You're like,
this is punishment.
Yes. Like legit. I think probably like 20 or so. I think a good distance, maybe 13. like you still like it's hard. You still got a good workout in, but then after like much more of that, it's like fuck, like I'm hurting myself, right? So yeah, I mean when I crossed the line, I was like, it just like hit me, like I got emotional, right? I teared up. I didn't like full on cry, but yeah, I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I just did that.
This.
Yeah.
So you were a little emotional, and I remember you text me, "Hey, have something to eat because I'm hungry as fuck." Yeah. What would you recommend for people to take on this run? You said the goo.
Goo.
The goo.
Yeah.
What would you recommend them taking to have with them on their pack or whatever?
Well, I had this plan, but I guess from being excited at the beginning, I had planned to take like a pain medicine when I started, so that it would kick in by the time I started hurting. But I didn't. I completely forgot about that. But I took it after. So I would, I guess, recommend that. I heard that from one of my classmates, but I wouldn't know if it works or not because I didn't try it.
But what would you recommend?
The goo. Definitely the goo. I took 6 with me, and I think I drank 4. Yeah, because you have to. I mean, I ran it. It took me 6 hours, and if on a normal day I get hungry in less than from when I eat breakfast, it's less than 6 hours. I definitely had to have something in my stomach.
Yeah.
The goo. I think I've read that some people don't take it well, like it's hard on their stomach. But definitely, well, they have water in the stations.
Yeah.
They also have food. Like the first table that I saw where the water station, they had donuts. I don't know that you should eat a donut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of carbs, so maybe, but I don't really know. Like if you look at the nutritional content of the goo and the donut, it might be the same because the goo is like, I think like 100 calories in that little pack. And it has like a lot of carb, like 50. Oh, I don't know. But
anyways, yeah.
It might be like a donut. So that might be why I'm sure they have a reason why they have those donuts there. But yeah, I don't know. If I could have, I wouldn't have carried anything just because any little thing. Like I had one of the not the water backpack that I took on the 20. It was a smaller one. But when I took this shit off, man, like it felt like I took like 100 pounds off my back.
Because I was like, "Want me to take this off?" Yes, please.
I couldn't even like take this shit off me. But yeah, I don't like the phone. I mean, I guess I had it in case something happened, but there's people on the route.
Yeah. Your music, stuff like that.
Yeah, that helps too. But at some point, like, I wasn't even listening to the music. I wasn't really thinking anything. I was trying to think of anything except running. But then at some point, like, it hit me that, like, again, like, why the fuck are you doing this? Like, you can just stop here. But I would tell myself, I'm like, no, like, today is the day. Like, I'm here to do this and I'm going to do it. Like, even if I crawl across the finish line, like, I'm going to get it done.
So you got done with the marathon. Me and your mom were waiting for you. You were really hungry, really thirsty. We gave you pickle juice. We gave you water. How did it feel to be able to accomplish at that moment? How did you feel like I just kicked this motherfucker's ass? Like I did my 26 miles.
Like I felt inside, like in my spirit, I felt like $1,000,000. But on the outside, man, I felt I felt like a penny. Like I felt like I was, if I sat down or did anything too long, I was not going to be able to move after that. They gave me my medal, and that was dope. Like, it's a big ass medal. It's heavy.
You should have brought it.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was thinking of wearing the shirt too that said finisher or whatever, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna wear that all night. Anyways, so yeah, I got the medal, and it is heavy. But that day it felt really heavy because it is bigger than like standard medals, probably like that big, right?
It was pretty big.
Yeah. And the marathon finishers got the gold medal, so the half got, I think, silver, and I don't know what 5K got. But yeah, when I was done, like I still couldn't believe it. I was like, no way. Like, I just did that, right? And I was hungry, but that's all I knew. I asked for water and pickle juice because I thought that I needed that. I don't know that I guess I was thirsty. The pickle juice is not really to quench my thirst. I just had gotten it 3 miles before and I thought it helped. So I was like, let me just drink this. It's going to help me now. And then I had thought about the medicine I didn't take, so I took that. But I couldn't be still. It hurt more to be still. So I think I was trying to tell y'all stuff, but I was like moving and, because it like...
Yeah, because when you finish, you hug me and you got like a little emotional, but then you let me go real fast. You're like, babe, I got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, just keep, do what you got to do. And you were just walking back and forth. You would talk to us, you would leave, talk to us, and it's like...
Yeah, because
I could tell you were excited as fuck.
I was like, because I really didn't know what to do. I was like, do I stop? Do I move? I was like, because like I said, when you stop, everything, like all the pain, I guess, that you hadn't thought about or felt during the run hits you, and like all at once, and it's just a lot. But I didn't feel it as much, I guess, because I was excited that I had finished, and I was excited I was about to go eat because I got hungry like really early in the run.
Yeah. So we went out to eat or whatnot. Let's talk about you accomplished your goal. Like I said, a year ago we talked about this, so you finally accomplished the goal.
Yeah.
The day after, how were you feeling the day after, and the following 2 days or whatnot? How were you feeling?
Okay, so I thought I was gonna be good to go to work, so I didn't request a day off. But when I woke up, it was really hard to roll over, and I was like, my knees they hurt a lot. I don't know if saying it felt like somebody had hit me like with it felt like something was messed up, but I knew it was because of the running, right? So I rolled over as best as I could, and I grabbed my phone and I text my supervisor. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, because I was like, well, I ran a marathon and my legs are just not having this.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, go ahead, rest. And yeah.
But what was the pain compared to, or what were you exactly were you feeling?
I was really, really sore, because the day of, when I finished, after I showered and everything, my muscles felt fine. Like, it was not my muscles hurting at all or anything. Like, it didn't feel like I had worked out or anything. It was just my knees, my joints. So my knees, my ankles, I think that was pretty much it. But the next day, think of like when you do like a hard workout and then you wake up sore. That it felt like that. Like I went to the gym and I maxed out on everything. My whole body hurt. It wasn't just my legs.
Yeah.
My arms, like right here, and I was like, I didn't even use that. Like, how is that sore or whatever? But yeah, it just, and then the second day is always the worst. So, the reason being is like when you do any workout, it's called delayed onset muscle soreness. Your muscles tear. So like when you lift weights, you're creating micro tears in your muscles. And what causes the pain is when your body is rushing to repair these muscles that you've ripped. And so it's like, I guess like I don't know if that's true or not, but I read somewhere that like my muscles were like bleeding, which is possible, I guess, if there's tears, right? So whenever you feel sore, your body's trying to repair that. That's what makes you feel sore, because it's trying to prepare you for if it has to do that shit again. So yeah, the second day I think was the worst.
Yeah.
Like,
so now that you know you're capable of accomplishing these wild goals, what's next for you?
More marathons. No, I don't know.
No, because you said no more marathons after this.
I didn't. Whenever I crossed the finish line, I was like, I don't know. I think I told you, I was like, I don't know if I ever want to do that again.
Yeah. And it was funny because the week before you were like, I can do the Boston. And I was like,
I was planning New York and like Houston to,
So So yeah, what's next? Because like I said, last year we talked about your goal. You did it.
Yeah.
What's the next plan? What do you plan on doing?
I don't know. I'm like, well, how do I top a marathon? Like, I mean, I guess I could run a faster marathon, but I don't think I want to ever do that again. I think for as far as running, like I'm definitely gonna do half marathons, and maybe focus on doing those faster. And then like extreme, I think maybe participating in like a fitness competition, but that requires like a whole nother level of like commitment and discipline.
You got this. You got this. I believe in you. So once again, this is pretty awesome. I've been excited about this all week to be able to sit here and talk about this. We didn't talk since she ran. We haven't talked about any of this because I wanted the genuine answers. You know, obviously we talked about it a little bit, but we never went into detail with all the questions. I mean, I've told you I'm so proud of you. You've been kicking ass, and you want people to follow you on social media?
Sure, I guess I have to approve it.
Like where can they find
Instagram? On Instagram is at xdolce, so that's XDO. You're
so anybody that watches, and if you're on the show, you don't have to spell it out. We're gonna put it right here. It's all good.
But what if they're listening on Apple Podcasts?
Then they can find the links on the description of the podcast.
Yeah, I guess my handle will be on there. Instagram, I guess really I don't really have anything else. Twitter.
So once again,
Twitter for motivation. I think I try to tweet some motivational stuff on there. So
this was pretty cool. Pretty excited to see what else you get into, and hopefully we can come on here and brag about it and get people inspired, get people motivated. And you already know the logo, right? You got to believe in yourself.
Yep. Be you.
Believe in yourself.
Man.
Be you.
Run some marathons, people.
Run some marathons. So once again, I am JVaz. You're watching the JVaz Show, and I was joined by my beautiful girlfriend, Mayra. You can find her on Instagram, on Twitter. We'll put the links to her social medias on the description of the podcast. And once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button, rate the podcast, share the podcast. Let us know what else you want us to talk about. And let's get out of here so we can go drink with our friends.
Oh, I have to be disciplined. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to go drink with my friends.